Hello and a really warm welcome to this, my live interview with Kelly Cairns, and we're going to talk about the rise of the female entrepreneur, because this lady has been on one heck of a ride in not even the last 12 months. So you're going to have an opportunity to hear Kelly's story, but also to put any questions that you have that you want Kelly to answer as well. And I'm really think that this will be a very inspirational piece for you and really show you what it does take to build an awesome business. So as you come and join us, come and say hi. Kelly and I would love to see who's here and keep this an engaged kind of session, even though it's an interview. So just a little bit of information about who I am. I'm Rachel Smith, the business grower, and I am passionate about supporting women to grow their awesome businesses, women just like Kelly. And I certainly came from a situation with my own business where I felt as if I spent too many years struggling. And once I'd figured out how to actually run a successful business, it became kind of my passion and my vision to help and support women, just like I had been in the early days, to really understand how to build that unstoppable belief in yourself and how you can go out there and create, launch and sell to your soulmate clients and build a business that you absolutely adore. I do not believe in templates. I do not believe in models. I do not believe in that one size fits all. What I believe and understand from my own experience and from experience of working with amazing women like Kelly, that actually what works is getting into aligned action, building that belief, being consistent, and just absolutely going for it, being all in, but in the most graceful way, as you will hear from my guest today, Kelly Cairns. And what's really brilliant is that Kelly and I are like the opposites in terms of personality. I'm really extrovert and Kelly's your natural introvert. So it doesn't really matter who you are. You can build your awesome business regardless of, where you are in the world and how you choose to show up as well. So this is something I really want you to hold on to as we get into this interview with Kelly. It's understanding that there will be things that Kelly and I share that will really resonate with you, and you'll be like having light bulb moments. And as you do, come and tell us what they are. But it's really about taking from what Kelly and I share and thinking about how that could shape up and how you could use that in your business. It's not saying, look at Kelly, use Kelly's model for success. It's to give you that belief and that inspiration that you can actually achieve it. And I just think it's so important in this day and age when there's so much kind of marketing BS out there that tells you that there is just one model and all sorts of stuff. And what I really wanted to do with this interview series is to share with you, like with the awesome women that I'm connected with, so you can understand that people like Kelly are the real deal. They understand what it takes and they're really happy to talk about it. So I'm not going to say anything more other than to introduce my guest, Kelly, because she's going to share a lot of the background information. So there's no point in me kind of going into this. But Kelly Cairns has been, I'm delighted that Kelly's been a client of mine for the past year, 18 months. And equally, I've been working with Kelly for the last couple of years. So it's that kind of like, we're just very happy in each other's world. And Kelly had a business and it was working, but she wasn't really in the situation, both with visibility, with her presence, with her income and her soulmate clients. And everything changed in 2017. And that's what we're going to get into today. And I don't need to explain anything more about Kelly's business because that's all going to be kind of shared in this interview. So Kelly, I'm just going to get straight into it and say welcome.
I'm excited.
I'm delighted that you're here today sharing your story with us, because I think it's so important for women to understand that anybody can actually achieve their deepest desires, as long as they've got the confidence to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, do you know what? Definitely, because I remember, and this, I remember having a conversation and with my husband, and he always used to just say, those women are just lucky. Do you remember I told you that? And I was like, is he saying that? And he always just used to say, well, they just got lucky at the right time. And I kind of bought into that. But it's not about being lucky. It's about being clear, I think.
Okay. So let's talk about what your business looks like today, because I know that it looks very different from where it was previously. So what does your business look like, and what does it feel like now, Kelly?
It feels amazing. Like, if you think back, I'm probably thinking back this time last year, like, I was busy and I had a really good business, but I wasn't really I was making money, but I wasn't making money consistently. So, like, I would have a really busy month, put my all into that month, and then the next month I'll not have anything. Or the other month I wouldn't have anything. Or like the 6 weeks holidays when the children were off, I wouldn't have anything for that whole 6 weeks, and I'd be skint. And then it would take like the beginning of September to get all that momentum back up again, to build your income back up. So now, 12 months later, I haven't got to worry about that. My money's coming in consistently, and even if I'm not working, I'm still making money.
And this is what we hear all the time, isn't it? But when you're stuck in your business and you're frustrated in your business, you can't figure a way through that. Mm-hmm. So how does it feel now to be one of those women who can say those things, Kelly?
It feels really good. Like, it feels that I just can't stop thinking about working in my business, and that's really bad. And it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing in terms of family, because I'm just want to work all of the time, and not because I have to, but because I'm just totally in love with what I'm doing. And it's different. Whereas before I was coming from a place of like need, whereas now I just want to be part of it because I love it, and it just makes me want to spread my message more, that it doesn't matter who you are, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can have a business that you love without like spending all of your energy wasting.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, you were really buying into that message that only the lucky few were able to have these amazing businesses. And then, like I said, less than a year on, and you've really turned your business around, and you now have that ability to know that you can go out there and consistently attracting new clients, do this work, transform their businesses, keep moving forward, and, really being seen as a leader in your field, which is absolutely awesome.
It is. It's amazing, and it gets to the point where selling is easy, and I always used to feel icky about selling. It's just, as you say at the beginning, I'm quite an introvert, so trying to sell doesn't come naturally to me. So the way I've managed to build a business is that I don't actually really have to sell as such. People have shared my journey, and they realize that my journey is real, and they want to be part of it, and they want that for their own business as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is an absolute inspiration when you're not kind of put on a pedestal as somebody who's lucky. It's like you're inspiring other women to do the same growth in their business that you've done as well. So, also this is a journey. We were talking about this before. This is a journey. None of us wake up one day, decide to run a business, and the next day we've got 6 figures in the bank. And thank goodness as well, because we need to grow, don't we? So what do you think the 3 biggest lessons have been that you have learned, not just about yourself, but also about your business, Kelly?
3 has been really tough to nail down, But I think the biggest one is clarity, because that is what really, really transformed my thinking and my self-belief. So obviously I already had a really good business. I mean, I won awards in my industry. So that was kind of like a testimony to me that I had a really good business, but I still wasn't making it the way that I wanted to make it. So I felt like a fraud with these awards behind me. And I was like, I really don't deserve that because I'm not where I want to be, if that makes sense. So I wasn't really happy, even though I was busy and I had kind of this behind me. I wasn't busy. I wasn't happy. So in the summer last year, I got that complete clarity, and that is when my business totally transformed. 100%. And you hear people say you need to get clarity, you need to understand who you work with and all of that, but it's so powerful. And that is one of my biggest messages to like anyone that I work with. You have to know who you work with and what your intentions are even before you even start your business. And that is kind of something that a lot of people don't even do. And I didn't really do it until last year, which is like 10 years down the line. So not really, not to the extent that I did. So that was one of my biggest tips, I'd say. And I think the second one is not buying into all the bullshit.
Yeah.
So like I posted something in my group yesterday saying, it was something along the line, somebody was promoting something saying you can earn $1,000 in an hour from one post, and join me to, so I'm trying to think off the top of my head, join me in my 7 days to 7K program, and I can show you how to do it as well. So me, like I used to believe that, and I would have signed up to that and never achieved what they asked me to do. So that was like, right, I'm not one of the lucky ones, they are. So instantly I was like, nah, it's not for me, I can never do this. But I shared it in my group and I said, like, the first part I know now is real, it's achievable, because I did it yesterday. But it's the second part that I worry about, because it's where you are in your journey in your business that makes that difference. Like, I wouldn't have been able to achieve the sale that I did yesterday last year. So someone going and saying, right, you can do this, without even kind of understanding where that person signing up in their business is in their journey. It could be just started today. How on earth in 7 days? Without an audience, without a reputation, without anything. So for me, the biggest thing was just not buying into all of the crap that's out there and just doing it the way that works for me.
Yeah, and it's so nice to hear you say, like, selling feels easy for you now, because I remember our conversation when you were creating and launching something, and then you get to the selling bit and it was like, oh, I've got to sell this. And it was like, well, you sold in the past. How have you sold in the past? And the way that Kelly sells is completely different to the way that I sell. And that's true of anybody. And it's about tapping into what feels amazing for you and going and having the confidence to go out there again and again and ask for the sale.
Yeah, it is. And it's just finding what, I mean, it's just finding what you feel comfortable with. And it's not, there is no kind of rules to selling. You just do it the way that it sits right with you and feels right with you. And it's trial and error. Like, I remember I used to just launch something, post about it, and then hide and just wait for people to sign up. And it just didn't work. People wouldn't buy it because I'm not being authentic with it, and I'm not kind of being open and confident with it. So now I just do it, and I kind of just give teasers and tell people what it's about and what they can get. And it's all based on my own experience and all based on my own journey. And I think that, like, I don't try and sell something that I haven't experienced myself.
Yeah, so you're not selling how to become a millionaire in a fortnight, not yet. Yeah. But watch this space. So what was the third lesson, Kelly?
The third lesson is showing up. Regardless of how you feel, how you look, show up. because you know that, and then a lot of people will know in my circle that even when I was going through the crappiest time, like the back end of last year, even during when I had my operation and everything, I was still showing up. I was still doing Facebook Lives, looking like complete crap, but I still did it and I didn't care. And that has kind of been the key point in my journey, that people really resonate with the true me, and I'm not trying to be something that I'm not.
Yeah.
Because I think if you are trying to be something that you're not, and you're not authentic, people just see through that now, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I love that. Just show up regardless.
Yeah.
Be yourself.
Be yourself. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. There's only one of you.
This is the thing, is that when people invest to buy from you, they're actually investing to buy you. And if you're portraying yourself to be quite different from who you are, that's quite difficult then to deliver something and do it authentically. So I know, being authentic was one of those key words that was bandied around for a long time, but it's still really, really important that you can show up and be yourself, be authentic, be vulnerable. You were very vulnerable after your surgery, and you sold from that point, and it was absolutely awesome because people resonated with you.
Yeah, and do you know what though? Somebody said on my live, one of my lives yesterday, that being visible, you are being vulnerable all of the time, and you have to learn to be vulnerable in the nicest way, because when you are kind of putting yourself out there, you haven't got any control as such. So you're always being vulnerable. So you have to learn to be okay with that.
Yes, I think that's really key, is making it okay.
Yeah, and I think it's difficult in this day and age because we're all obviously surrounded by social media, and we see people who are looking pretty and perfect all the time, and we take loads of selfies of ourselves, and then we look at ourselves on screen and think, well, I don't look like my selfie. And it's just, and then you expect to look like this prim and proper filtered person, and then you kind of put yourself back and think, well, I can't show up like that because it's not what people expect of me. And I just think you have to just strip all of that back and realize that people actually just like you for who you are.
And the more that you can show who you are, the more that somebody can actually build that rapport. And when you've built the rapport, that's when trust happens. And as soon as you've got trust, that's when people buy from you. So it's, thinking about, if you're thinking through this content that Kelly's sharing, is think about how can you build trust up with your audience, and how can you do that quickly, and how can you show up and be yourself and be consistent with your visibility.
Yeah, I think it's just not overthinking it, isn't it? I think if you sit there for ages and think, right, what am I going to say? How am I going to look? What am I supposed to wear? Just show up and not even worry about it. Just press the go live and just do it.
Just talk from the heart. I used to always, like when I used to show up every month and do a talk to my networking group, I used to have notes, and obviously you evolve, and I just got to a position where I'd be driving there on the venue that night thinking, what am I talking about? And then I'd get there and just talk from the heart, and then you can actually pick up and make it a conversation, because people can engage with you, and it feels like it's more natural. So yeah, Ruth just said that she thinks overthinking is death, and it can be the thing that where fear comes in, where procrastination comes in, where overwhelm comes in. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Kelly. So what do you think? Let's put it into context then.
Yeah.
So last year, in 1 month, you generated the same amount of income as you had made in the previous 12 months.
Yeah.
And that was just the starting point for you. And obviously, you've been able to build on that. So that's a massive leap for somebody. And, here we are trying to throw off the blinkers and really show women how you can do it yourself, and not to kind of dress it up. So for you then, what are the strategies that helped you to arrive at this place? What are the business strategies that you have put into your business that really work for you?
Well, I think the first thing, as I already said, is getting that clarity and knowing what my intentions were. So, like my initial intentions, like my clarity that I got was that I only wanted to work with female entrepreneurs who were really struggling with technology and the kind of the principles of putting their business together online. So that put under the umbrella. And I knew that the best way for me to do that was to have a Facebook group, because I could really kind of nurture and bring in and call in the people that I wanted to work with. And that's how I was able to support them best.
Mm.
So that was kind of the beginning of my journey. So that was like my initial strategy, was to get people into my Facebook group. So I did that by launching a challenge. So because I had that clarity of who I wanted to work with and what their problems were, my strategy then was to give them something that they wanted, that I knew that they wanted now. So I put together a challenge that would get those targeted people into my group and engaging in my group. And that was my strategy, and that still is my strategy, to keep giving them content that they want and bringing them in. So I like network in groups. I advertise on my Facebook page, and I do Facebook Lives, and I do Instagram and all of that, and email my list, and just keep calling people into my group, because that's then where I can really build that relationship with them. So that's really my my only strategy, and it works for me.
And it's working on that basis of visibility, clarity about what you're making stand for, being consistent with selling. And this, I understand that many people, in particular women, struggle with, is they are sat behind their gorgeous websites with everything crossed, that somebody's going to land on the page, click the work with me button, and then book it in and spend oodles of money with them. But in reality, we need to be very proactive in our selling. And you said right at the beginning that you used to feel that selling was icky, but actually you've created a way that selling is just part and parcel of what you do. You can create brilliant content. You can really hold a group together. You've got a fabulous tribe over in your group that people absolutely love. And then from that just becomes this natural next step. But if people want more support from you and they want more information that's going to really help them, well, the next natural step is for them to step into that, and therefore it doesn't feel like selling. It's not like you're selling to a load of people who don't know who you are.
No, and it's easy. So like this time I've just launched a product, and I had somebody ask me about it even before it was launched, ready to buy, and it's just kind of is like, what, really? And it's such a nice feeling that people are just wanting to buy into you because they truly believe in what you have. And that is when you think, actually, I'm doing a good job and it's working. And it's to that extent where you don't have to sell because people are ready to buy off you.
They are ready to buy from you because you have, like, by creating your challenges and by creating an engaged group, you've got people who, they're like your tribe, that, you know, they know that you've got something that they want. And it's not in a pushy, selly kind of way. It's just in this very graceful way that you can call your people in, which is just awesome to see you do that. We have got a question from Carol. So Carol's question is this. Kelly, was your group closed from the start, or did you have it public for a while to get people in?
No, it was always closed. I don't see the point on having an open public group because people can see all of the content. And then they haven't got any incentive to join. So I always had it closed.
And everything that you've generated in you know, kind of late 2017 and this year, it's been all very organic as well, which is beautiful to see that you haven't spent thousands of pounds on Facebook ads. You've kept it very organic, and that really works for you.
It does. I mean, that is what that, like, that is something that is in my message and everything that I do, my programs that I put together. It's all about not having to pay for an advert, because all of my growth that I've had since the end of last year, or well, summer last year, today, I haven't spent a single penny on adverts at all, not even a boost post, nothing. And it all happened because I've just showed up and been visible and just giving people what they want.
Yeah. Brilliant. Whilst Kelly's here, does anybody else have any questions? So this is kind of your time to ask any questions. And if you're watching the recording back, you can post questions that Kelly and I will see them. So still keep asking your questions. So Kelly, just whilst people are thinking about whether or not they've got any questions for you, would you like to share with us what's going on with within the Tech Angel HQ right now? What are you up to?
I have just opened the doors of my VIP Tech Angel Club. So that's opened as of today. Well, actually, I haven't even told anybody that it's open today. So
breaking news.
Breaking news. So that's open today, and I've rebranded it, and it just looks amazing. There's new tools on there, and it just looks fantastic. And I'm like, I just keep looking at it all the time. So that's opened today. I have launched so I'm working on a mastermind group, which is an extension of my Boost Your Biz program, which I'm still running actually, which has been amazing. It's like, it's my first proper live program that I've done, and it's just been fantastic. I'm just in awe of how it's gone, and that's me speaking about it. And I'm like, I can't believe this one. I want to do another one. And I think, do you know what? I haven't really got any master plans. I know that I've kind of had some breakthroughs in myself, in my business, that I want to do more mentoring and kind of step back away from doing the actual work. So I want to share my journey and help others do the same and get the same success as me. So I'm focusing a lot on mentoring at the minute. And that's kind of, I think that's kind of the biggest plans that I've got. I'm just happy to coast along and do what I'm doing.
Well, it doesn't feel like you're coasting along to me, lady. It feels like you really are known very well now for who you are, what you do, and you've got the most amazing tribe of. Can you just remind me of the name of your Facebook group, just in case anybody who's watching this hasn't joined already?
Yeah, it's called the Tech Angel Club.
There you go. That's Kelly's free group, and you'll get Kelly and her amazing tribe and a stack of resources in there. But yeah, this has been such an interesting journey and a very incredible one as well, Kelly. You are absolutely amazing. You're an ideal client of mine. It's an absolute pleasure to work with you. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we finish this interview, which has been awesome?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously, if anyone wants kind of any support, then they can come to my Facebook group and join me in my Facebook group. They can check out my tech club, which has got loads of training. It's not just like techie training. I just shove everything in there that's been part of my journey and how I've achieved what I've achieved, which is obviously the center of all of my messages. But no, just come and join me in my Facebook group and come and ask any questions on this post that you want, or in my Facebook group, and you'll find me there.
Fantastic. Well, that's it. That's the kind of rise of the female entrepreneur. This is the real deal. This is what happens when you take aligned action, you're consistent with it, you build that belief, and you keep, this is possible for every single one of you. So I'm sure that has given you lots of insight and inspiration. As Kelly said, come and hang out with Kelly in her club. Leave any comments that you have here. Kelly and I will see them, and I look forward to bringing you another inspirational interview very soon. Big thanks to you, Kelly, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at my live event.
I can't wait.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you soon.